Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I am making lentil tofu for the very first time. So I think for a first attempt, it worked out pretty good. It tasted really good, but the texture was a little bit off. I think I overcooked it slightly, but then I made a second batch that you guys will see after, and that one was improved considerably. So now I'm addicted to making this stuff. It is so easy to make, and you can just keep it in the fridge and whip it up whenever you need it. So for one serving of this recipe, you're just going to need 2 cups of water and 1 cup of the red lentils. So I decided to double my recipe the second time I made it just because I wanted a bigger quantity, and that's fine. It depends on how much you need, and I believe you can actually keep this in the freezer as well and just, take it out as needed. So you can just cut it up in little blocks and then put them in parchment paper in freezer bags separated, or put it in a airtight container and freeze it like that. I would still add a little bit of parchment in there just to put between the pieces, but I think you can store it pretty well. Let me know if you do, because I would love to know. It just doesn't last long enough for me to actually freeze here because I use it for leftovers, and yeah, it just doesn't last. So this recipe is really good because you just pop it into a pan once it's blended. You cook it for a few minutes. It's going to get thickened. Then you're going to transfer it to any kind of baking dish that you have. And then you're going to go ahead and pop that in the fridge. So I left mine a little lumpy on the top. I think I overcooked it in the pot, and this is what caused this kind of lumpiness. So the taste was fine. It didn't affect the taste at all. But aesthetically, it was a little lumpy on the top. So when you cut the cubes, one side of the cubes was a little lumpy. So, and again, this is a preference thing. This is not a major thing. It's not like it altered the flavor of the food. So, and that's what matters, right? So once it's been in the fridge for at least, I would say, like 3 to 4 hours, but I just left it there for the day. You can cut it up in cubes. You can season it the way you want to. The first time I made it, I added seasoning to the water when I blended it, and it did taste good like that. But now my preference is to not season it and then just season it when I'm cooking, or putting a sauce on it. That's my preference, but you can go ahead and add spices when you're blending. You can do it afterward. It's totally up to you. And then once it's been chilled completely, it's literally just going to slide right out. And then you can go ahead and chop it up into the desired size of little tofu cubes that you want, or slices, whatever you're making. You can even turn this into like a tofu bacon and just cut it like a long slice, and then you can grill it. You can put it on a pan and throw it in a sandwich or something. So this is really versatile, and you can use it in many different ways. So this is definitely a recipe that is a keeper. It's all over the internet. You'll see different variations of it, but really it's quite simple. 1 cup of lentils and 2 cups of water, and you're going to blend that, and that's it. Like, that's literally it. And then you just cook it up in a pot for a few minutes until it thickens and transfer it to a dish. It's that easy. So I like to air fry mine. I think they turn out really, really yummy like that, but you can definitely cook it on a pan that is lined with parchment paper or any reusable sheet, and that way it doesn't stick to your pan and it will cook up really nicely. So I seasoned it and then put it into the air fryer, and they turned out really nice, and I ate it like that. But the second time that I made it, I did not pre-season it. So what I did was I just air fried it after it was cut into cubes, and then I put in the seasonings and the sauce that I wanted on top. So really, again, it's a preference thing if you want to season it ahead of time or afterward. But the bottom line is it's the easiest recipe. It's high in protein, high in fiber, really easy to make. You can store it in the fridge. You can have it there as a snack in a pinch. That way you don't turn to unhealthy options. You can carry it in a container and bring it on the go easily to snack on. So it's just one of those go-to recipes for a lot of people, and I'm one of those people. So the second time I made it, I doubled the recipe like I said, and this is just what the cubes look like. Like, they're quite firm. I mean, if you squish down on it, it will fall apart. I had a few pieces because of the container that I put it in that it kind of fell apart. But you could still use it. You can definitely still use those little bits that fall off. But you can cut it to the sizes that you like. And yeah, it's just really, really delicious. So this is what they look like after I air fried it, and this is without any seasoning. And then afterward, I went and I put on a oil-free teriyaki sauce with my broccoli, and that was my meal, and it was so delicious. And I did bring these little tofu little cubes with me to work as a snack at work the following day, so it's great for leftovers as well. So I decided to make a treat to keep in the freezer. So I just made some nice cream. Nice cream is just basically frozen bananas, and then you can just add toppings of choice to your nice cream. It's just a healthy ice cream alternative. I decided to make it mint, so I'm putting in some wheatgrass to add color. Sometimes I add a little bit of spirulina or a little bit of just greens powder. And then I add a little bit of the extract as well and cacao nibs. So be careful with the mint extract because I put in way too much the first time that I made this. Actually, more than once, because a lot falls in and you don't realize until after. So then you just have to blend more bananas and mix it through. That way the flavor is not so intense. So some people like an intense flavor. I don't. I like just a little bit of mint flavor. So I let it sit for too long on the counter, so it got a little bit runny, but it should be as thick as possible. And if it gets too runny, you can always pop it into the freezer, let it thicken up a little, and that way you can eat it like an ice cream. But once it's in the freezer, it's going to turn really, really hard. So you leave it out for a few minutes before serving it, and that way you can scoop out a nice scoop and then top it with whatever you like. Okay guys, so a lot of you were wondering what the heck has happened to me. I was gone in March for a while. I was in Pennsylvania, so we did quite a bit of shopping while we were there, did some like prom dress shopping, things like that. Also, I had some medical stuff to do. I've been doing some stuff in the US now just because of the long wait times in Canada. So yeah, just stuff like that. And this is the house that we rented, and it was so cute. I love the aesthetic. It was just super, super cute, all the little details, and it was a small little house, but it was located in a great area that we could get to everything pretty much super easy. So if I were to go again, which I probably will, we really liked it, we'll go when it's nicer weather and like maybe in the summer, maybe sometime. So yeah, it was a little chilly, but we were pretty lucky because there was no snow, just sprinkles of snow fell while we were there, and we found that the temperature was actually better than back home. So still a win, I guess, for us. But yeah, it was nice to just get away, see something different, see different neighborhoods, do a little, extra shopping that we wouldn't normally do, and just get away for a bit of the everyday runaround here. So funny enough, the kids were laughing because there's a tea set in one of the bedrooms as a decoration, and I'm like the teacup collector and fan, and so they were like, oh my gosh, of all of the houses we could have rented, of course there's a tea set here. So yeah, I thought that was funny, and that was one of the decor pieces that they had in the room. So everything is done in black and white. It was super cute, very simple, but they did add, accessories here and there and little art, I guess, designs in each room. And I found that a lot of the paintings were like they did it themselves. And yeah, it's kind of neat, one of a kind. And then, of course, the little details, little bedside tables and cute lamps. My son had all his little people there, his little stuffies. But yeah, and then all the rooms had carpet, which was nice because then your feet don't get cold when you're coming out of bed. So the next bedroom also had like cute little hanging plants, again, like rustic, handmade artwork pieces, and then maybe there's a couple that are store-bought, but mostly I found that they were all done, I guess, by the owner maybe. And then they have a few little artistic flares, like with the paint and stuff in the rooms. And again, everything is black and white, and they had extra blankets and coziness because it is winter, and the carpets that we appreciated because that way when we're getting in and out of bed, our feet are still warm and not freezing on the hard wood floors. had this cute little coffee nook in the kitchen, which was really nice. We tried to make our own coffee and our own food as much as possible while we were away, just to cut down on costs. And also I was worried about eating out as usual. But I have to say that it was really, really easy. We were able to find a lot of vegan options. People were wonderful. The people of Pennsylvania are so welcoming and they are so accommodating. Or at least the ones that I came across. I'm so thankful to them because they were able to tell us in detail of everything that we could or couldn't have in restaurants, and they accommodated us and made sure that we had enough food, and it was just wonderful. And then we were able to stop at Walmart and grab a whole bunch of stuff in Target. Lots of fruits because we go through a lot of that, and just simple things like toast for the kids. I made burgers at home and nuggies. We were able to find a lot of vegan options, and oatmeal that is a staple and pretty simple. Some sugary cereal for a treat. And then, just like tortillas and salsa, simple snacky things that, you can basically find anywhere, even when you're traveling, which is really good. And just it's, I guess, as staple as possible, items, and that way, you have things to snack on that are relatively healthy. And then we did bring, things like Costco crackers with us because my son is really picky and he'll only have stuff like that. And I didn't know if there was going to be vegan options for crackers. So it's always best to carry, extra stuff in the car, especially on a road trip. And that way you have some options. And then, yeah, like the oven was a little different from what I'm used to because I'm used to like a flat top, the ceramic top, but it was fine. It cooked fine. I was able to figure it out. These are just the older style, I guess, electric stoves, but it really cute aesthetic. The kitchen, had enough room for me to cook and do what I needed to do. And yeah, it was just nice. A nice little getaway. Our favorite meal was definitely a Mexican meal that was literally just at a mall. We Googled, options, and it came up, and the staff there was so incredible. They were so wonderful, and they were able to tell us everything that we could have. They had so many vegan options, and I thought, you know what, it's going to have a lot of oil. It's Mexican food, but for one meal, it's not going to kill us. It'll be fine, but it wasn't oily at all. Like there was very, very minimal oil used in the meal. So I was so impressed overall. It was super filling, really delicious. I ended up having fajitas, as you can see, with veggies and tofu to fill me up, lettuce and rice. They even had sour cream that was vegan. They had, lovely avocado to top everything with. It was so, so good. And again, the staff was so amazing. So yeah, the weather was pretty comparable to Toronto. We got some snow on the way home, but it was such an easy drive. Honestly, it was a breeze. I didn't find that it was like long and annoying to drive there. Sometimes you start your road trips and it all starts really well, and then you start to get antsy and uncomfortable. I didn't find that at all. It was just nice to get away, and sometimes it's important just to leave your surroundings, and it was nice to connect to nature in a different area and get away from the city life. So now that I'm back and at it, there will be more upcoming videos. Thanks so much for watching today's video and for being here on the channel. I'll see you soon.